Hey everyone, it's Joel here with today's Daily Pattern, and we're in Acts chapter 26. And what happens in this passage is once again, Paul is preaching the gospel and gets in trouble, and people want to persecute him, so he has this opportunity to speak to the leaders. And as always, he just speaks about his testimony. He talks about what Jesus has done in his life. And there's one bit that I love about it. It's where he talks about where after meeting God, where he was sort of commissioned by God into his calling. So we're in Acts chapter 26 in verse 17 and 18, where Jesus says to Paul in this vision, I will rescue you from the people of Israel and from the Gentiles to whom I will send you. You are to open their eyes and turn them from darkness to the light and from the power of Satan to God, so that through their faith in me, they will have their sins forgiven and receive their place among God's chosen people. So Paul's sense of calling has very little to do with his own climbing of a ladder or his own status or opportunities that are going to come to him. His sense of calling is about the people that God is sending him to. The people that God's sending him to help, the people God's sending him to come alongside, the people God's sending him to encourage. And again, when it comes to calling, it's actually not about me. It's not about you. It's about the people God wants you to love. Because as Christians, we are people. That's who we are. We're about people. So really, when we think about calling, and that's an interesting question us Christians talk about, what am I called to do? Sometimes I think it's worth us flipping it around a bit and really think about, who am I called to? And maybe it's your colleagues that God wants you to serve in a way that is different, for you to lift them up rather than compete with them. Maybe it is the people in your neighbourhood who are having a tough time, who God wants you to come alongside. And maybe it's people across our town who God wants you to serve. Maybe it's your friend that God wants you to invite on Alpha so they might experience something of God. And calling, yes, it's about the big dreams, but us. It's about writing that book. It's about writing that song. It's about starting that business. But it's also about who God's sending you to, who you're going to help. And for me, sometimes I need that reminder to take the focus off me and say, oh yeah, my calling is about these people. And if all of us did that, imagine the amazing things that God might do. Just like Paul, you and me are not just invited to do stuff, we're invited to love people. Who's God calling you to love today? Have a great day.